Welcome back, everyone. This is Roxon Rally, and this week I'm going to be lowering my Camaro with some junkyard springs. So we're going to take our junkyard springs, cut them down, toss them into the Camaro, and then head to an Autocross and see if all this work is worth it. Alright, so there's a lot of good ways to lower your car. You can use weight jacks, you can use coilovers, you can get shortened springs, but I found these V8 springs in the junkyard. These are from a Z28 Camaro, and they should be around 500-pound springs, whereas the Camaro stock front springs are around 300 pounds. So I'm going to take these, shorten them by cutting them, and then stick them in. And for our rear springs, yesterday I was able to get out and I picked up some stuff for the Camaro and the Jeep. I'm going to install these, and I got these springs with the Trans Am rear axle, or they should be a bit stronger than my stock ones. So let's get these old springs off. So here we go. I did some quick measurements of the stock ride height. They're all sitting around 27 inches off the ground from the bottom of the fender. I'm going to take about 1.5 inches off the ride height, front and rear, and that should bring us down a bit like here. That's my goal. I said I was going to drop it about 1.5 inches. We should put it about right here, or no. So if we measure our springs bottom to top, they are 15.25 inches tall. So in order to cut 1.5 inches off, we just have to measure down the coil until we drop 1/2 inches, which is 3/4. So we'll be at 14.5 inches. So that's going to put us right about here, which is a little over 1 full coil. Now let's go and see if we did this right. It didn't drop as much as I thought it would, but I got about 1.5 inches on this side. And then this side is still 1/2 inch taller. So I may drop it another 1/2 inch on this side, or unless it like shifts and readjusts itself, then we'll see. So the rears are done. It does look better. Now to get these shocks out. If you haven't seen just how dead this shock is yet, one, it's not even coming back out. It's completely empty. Junk. So I was gonna say something about how you shouldn't buy shocks from the junkyard, because this one I got from the junkyard over a year ago, and it's got life in it, but it's definitely not that great. But this one I had actually bought from the store on the same day. It's completely dead. Nothing in it. So I went ahead and did the right thing and got some more shocks out of the junkyard. This is the way you do things. And now for the front springs. Away. Oh, that'll do. I'm never gonna get the other one back in though. Oh yeah, and this is also a problem too. This shock is ripe. I'm sure the other one's just as good. Great. I don't have time to get new ones before this weekend anyway. Maybe I can stop at the junkyard and find some and throw them on there real quick. I doubt it. Hey, we're back. It's been a couple days and I have not been able to find some new struts. I mean, I could order some, but I don't know if they'd actually be here in time. So I'm just gonna leave these in, and then after this weekend, then I'll search some more and get them actually replaced. We got a spring compressor, so this should be pretty simple. Oh, these go on the outside? Huh? I'm sure there's a way. I mean, that makes sense. And how am I supposed to undo them if they're on the outside? So these springs are being a real pain in the butt. Oh, hi Pooch. Hi Bookie. Hi Kirby. What you got? What you got? Ooh. So I'm just gonna cut them now because I know they have to be cut anyway. And then if they need to drop more, then I'll pull them back out and cut them again. But I'm gonna try and take 2 inches off the ride height by removing 1 inch height of the spring. It'll come out eventually. There we go. Push. No, don't do that. Lower it and then push it. There, right there. Actually, go back. Go back. Right there. Now go up. I said don't drop it because I didn't want that spring to like come loose and fling into my face.
Yeah, but I didn't drop it.
You did.
No.
You did.
I'll drop it.
If these stupid struts were any good, they hold themselves up so I could actually install them properly. But no. I gotta risk losing a finger just so I can get this thing to go in there properly. My fingers aren't in the way this time. So I'm not gonna lose them.
Pwede ulit umiyon niyo kung ano video. Pantay ka.
Well, getting those springs in took a lot longer than I thought. And now it's dark. So I started off cutting 1 inch off the springs, but I was nowhere near what the ride height I wanted. So I went ahead and cut another inch off, and it's a little bit better. I still have to put the wheels on and lower it back down to see exactly where it'll sit, but that was an ordeal. But I got them on there. Now it's dark and I have an autocross tomorrow morning. So I'm just gonna put the camera on time lapse and reconnect everything that I took apart.
After a few runs of worrying that I'm going to break something and testing out what I can get away with, I lined up for my last run. Here we have a very technical comparison between the stock V6 springs and the shortened V8 springs. Those old springs didn't do much at all to control the weight transfer, so I was incredibly surprised on how little the Camaro dipped when under braking and hard turns. And that's it for our Yard Tree Certified testing section of the video. I'm on the edge of being satisfied with the improvements we made and relieved that I didn't make things worse. This is only a small step towards greatness, so in the future, weight jacks, proper racing springs, even coilovers if it's in our budget are needed. I definitely will want a heavier rear spring to avoid sagging when the car is loaded up, but it's good for now, and my makeshift panhard bar is still not bent, and it's holding its alignment, so I'll claim that win. Now about the front. I got impatient, and I didn't measure with all 4 wheels on the ground before making the second cut. Somehow, it ended up looking great, but I actually missed yesterday's autocross runs because it was rubbing constantly. I looked around for another set of V8 springs all day, and luckily, before I went to bed, I remembered to pull the plastic fender liners out and MC hammer the pinch welds out of the way. So I freaked out and wasted a whole day for nothing, but Anna got some takeout. So, until next time, thank you for watching Rocks and Rally.